School 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't. Yo, what up? GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasted. I am excited. We're in the building.
What?
What up, people? This is a special show. First of all, shout out to the man with the master plan, Domino.
Nice. That's his nickname? Domino?
Shut up. I ain't introduced you yet.
Sorry.
This is a special show. Here's why this is a special show. Because my man, the internet has been screaming, where the fuck is Harry? So today, give it up for my boy Harry Turjanian in the building.
What's up, everybody? Nice. Look at this. Look at this. This is nice fancy digs here. Got a couch?
Little things going on. Things. I mean, let's be honest. It ain't. You remember when we had the studio? We had a whole ass studio in
your
house.
Yeah. It was a nice studio. You had a nice little home. You had the best at-home studio
in the business.
Yeah. Because we started out at the dining room table.
Yeah, we was at the and then we in my living room, and then we built the whole studio.
The whole studio.
It's but Harry, good to be here. I've been just doing these questions and whatever.
Yeah,
I wanted to bring you in. People been asking.
That's very nice. I'm glad they're. I'm glad. It's nice to be wanted. We still do our edition every week, so you can always check that out on the Man School 202 YouTube page, and we still do the Patreon.
And I feel like we're gonna have Harry and come in more.
Yeah.
And give his perspective and stuff. I mean, Harry was probably one of my first.
Yeah, you turned my life around. Pupils.
One of my first. How would I put it?
Proteges.
Yeah,
pupils.
proteges.
Yeah, I learned a lot.
Immersion. The immersion.
Yeah.
You were in the immersion program. We trying to get Domino right too.
Yeah, I heard the show a couple weeks ago with when he was talking about his girl outside there, and Dom seems like a great guy. He deserves happiness. He's very sweet. He works hard. I want to make sure. Is there an update on that? Because that was 2 weeks ago. But
Domino, what's going on? How you like your new name, Domino? I went with Domino.
Yeah, I like it. I've been called that before. So
okay.
Domino's a great nickname.
All right, cool.
Domino's a great nickname.
You
don't have to be Dominican either. So that's the best part.
What's going on with this broad?
So, we didn't really end things, but we never really started things.
Fair enough.
But, yeah, she was in the hospital for a while. When she came out, she texted me. But
what kind of hospital? Physical hospital or mental hospital?
An ICU.
An ICU.
Okay.
See, I relate to Dominic a lot when I heard the story last week because Dominic suffers from nice guy
syndrome, yeah.
And I was infected heavy with nice guy syndrome.
I too was infected with.
Yeah, but you were in the 3rd grade.
Yeah, I was third grade.
I was a grown man in my 20s.
I was 8.
Yeah. You figured that out by like recess in the 5th grade to not get played.
I told you my son has my proclivity, right?
Oh yeah.
I have that joke I do. So I bought. The joke is it's a true story.
You told me the story. I remember.
The Jeep.
Yeah.
I bought him one of those electric Domino. I bought him an electric Jeep. And he was driving the Jeep around, but I got him a 2-seater because he has this little girlfriend, Zara, that rides around with him in the Jeep. He loves little Zara, right?
Sure.
So he's driving around in the Jeep, and little girls tend to be more bossy, and they talk more, and they mature quicker. So my son's driving around in the Jeep, and she's going, "You're going too fast, Dante. Go over here. Go there. Go under the bush." My son stops the Jeep, opens the car door, gets out of the car, is like, "Deuces, bitch. I'm out of here." And he gets out.
Walks away.
Just walks away.
He walked into the house.
And he went in the house. I go upstairs. He's in his room reading a book. I'm like, "Yo, your company." He was like, "Yeah, I don't fuck with that bitch no more."
That's your son. No DNA test needed.
No DNA test.
No DNA test needed. But
Domino, what's going on? What? So you spoke. Now, I explicitly gave you fucking advice. Did you do a portion of it?
What was the advice you gave him?
I told him to cut her the fuck off.
Okay, yeah, I heard that part. Yeah.
But so what did you do, Domino? Because let me say this. I want to say this before I ask you. know that I know that you didn't do what I told you to do.
I tried, but I haven't been able to get on the phone with her because she's also being weird. So
No.
Right
I
now-
think you're misunderstanding his advice. There was no phone call in that advice.
well, I was gonna at least say this. I don't want to
No.
continue this further.
Again, this is what the
I did the same thing, Dominic. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because I don't want you to think we're picking on you. We love you and we care about you. That's why, because I do the same thing. Dante would tell me, cut it off, and then I'd be like, all right, I'm going to tell her that I'm going to cut it off. Like, no.
You don't
just-
call somebody up to tell them you're not calling them. Do you understand how absurd that's? Listen to when I say it out loud. Do you understand how fucking?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you up to tell you I'm not calling you no more. What if she don't want to talk to you no more? Then you look like an idiot because she goes, well, I wasn't going to talk to you anyway. You know what I mean?
That's kind of where it is right now. I feel like that's what happened. Just because she hasn't reached out to me, I haven't really reached out to her. I tried to be like, hey, I want to speak to you on the phone. And she was like, I haven't really been spoken to anybody since coming back from the hospital.
Then what you do is you don't take a call. You don't even.
I haven't spoken to her.
You don't speak to her. Now you don't even, because she said, I haven't. So you texted her, I want to talk to you on the phone.
Yeah.
Now, you know I told you to just leave it alone until she calls you, right?
Well, she didn't call me, but she texted me that she was back and has her phone
again, Domino. What is and this is the point when I give directions, when I do consultations, keep in mind, DanteNero.com, click on consult. When you do the consultations, I tell people specifically what to do, and they always do a version, a freestyle version of what I tell them. If I go, when she calls you, then you tell her, yo, I'm not, yo, I'm good. I'm out. You don't really like me. I'm good. If that doesn't mean text her so she could call you. It doesn't mean send a pigeon. It doesn't mean send smoke signals. It means when she calls you, that's when you cut her off. If she never calls you, what does
that's
that
where
mean?
you explain why you cut her off. Because what you want to do, you lead with action, like you said. So
Right.
you stop messing with her, stop interacting with her, stop giving her the time of day because she's not interested or doesn't respect it, right? And if she cares, she will contact you, which she normally will.
Hold on. $5 cash out from Xavier.
Nice.
$5 cash out from Xavier. Always on point. Xavier Corino always calling in.
Nice.
Always supporting. Thank you, brother. Thank you. But go ahead.
So, like you said, you lead with action. You cut her off. Don't interact with her. She will hit you up because nobody likes to be just cut off. She's like,
Right.
hey, wait a minute.
Right.
Why'd that guy cut me off? I was supposed to cut him off. Why'd he cut me off?
Right.
So that's what ends up happening. But, the other thing you got to do is get other options. You need to focus on getting other options so that she's not that important in your head.
But we didn't get to that yet.
No,
but,
okay. Fair enough.
So my thing was, don't call her.
Yeah.
When she calls her, tell her, because if she never calls you, then you know what she thinks. You feel me? Then you're not. There's no discussion. If somebody is not calling you, understand. I've never been into with a woman where a woman doesn't do what she wants to do.
Sure, yeah.
If she don't like you, she's not gonna call. If she likes you, she's gonna call.
She makes the effort, yeah.
And if she's not making the effort, then you have to assume she's not interested. You have to interpret her actions instead of trying to make it a square peg fit into a round hole. Dom, I need a little AC in here. It's getting warm and shit. But so you don't call, and if she calls, my directions was if she calls, then you go, listen, I'm just not down. But if she doesn't call, then y'all are in agreement anyway that this ain't what you want to do.
Right.
So,
right. But like I get it because I've been in that nice guy situation before where, you try to think the best of somebody, you try to think that a girl is special and like. Because you have access to her, you try to find the good in her, and what you end up doing is putting her on a pedestal.
Is it really that, or is it that when you don't have options, you put the girl on the pedestal because you don't have options?
That's what I'm saying. Within reach, she's in your area, in your space, so you try to find the good in her, the best. You try to, find a reason to be with somebody. Or when you don't have options, that's the best it is.
And
right?
and the problem with that is, so there's something that I say, and we talked about this for years, is never let emotion have a seat at the table. And understand something. Even when you're going, I'm trying to find good in her. It's emotion. It's desperation. It reads as desperation. It reads as a situation where you're trying to make something. You have to, like, relationships is like ping pong, right? They have to hit the ball over the net in order for you to hit it back.
Sure.
But if they never hit the ball over the net, then the game is over.
Sure. But if you're a nice guy, you start thinking, well, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's this. Maybe there's that.
And why does that? You tell me why that happens.
Why? Because you don't have other options. So you think you're never going to get anybody else.
Right. So you have low self-esteem, and then you're looking for a response. And that's why specifically, Dom, I said, when she calls you, cut her off. Right? So you texted her. She said, I haven't really spoken to anybody, which absolutely confirms what the assessment of the whole relationship was in the first place. This was on her terms. Unfortunately, I know this is sometimes it's hard to hear, but she didn't like you like that. And it's not that you don't let anybody, this is why you don't let people define you. Because if you let people define you, it won't be long until you ain't shit. Understand this. If you are in a situation where you are asking, what you're saying is, can you call me? What you're saying is, please call me. I want to have this conversation. Where she has already made it clear that she's made no effort to talk to you, which means she's not interested. Or at least
you're not a top priority.
Yeah, you are.
There's
are
other
way on the
people who she is interested in, and she's keeping you on the roster as a backup in case some stuff goes. Because she has that option.
Exactly.
So she can string you along. Because guys tend to guys think that as long as I'm on the field,
I'm in the game.
I'm in the game, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you ain't gonna score no points. That's not how you score points.
Yeah.
In order to score points, you have to aggressively score points. You can't. In relationships, a great defense is not a great offense.
Yeah.
A good offense is not a great.
But
defense.
the other thing is being in the friend zone actually loses. It's ironic.
It's
sticking
worse.
around is worse in a relationship because it loses their respect because they're just toying with you.
Yeah.
And they don't respect the fact that you don't set boundaries. So the irony is she will respect Dom for not calling her.
But she won't now
Not
because
via
she
text.
texted her.
But it's happened so many times that as long as he doesn't call her now, she'll
Right.
call back.
You gotta
She will call
you gotta
back.
not do anything, and then if she never calls you, then you move on. And if she does, you go. You should. Like she calls her. Who's this? Who? What?
Oh, yeah.
What's your name again? Like,
I'm sorry. You do the new phone. Who dis? Right?
Yeah. So that was it. That was it.
That's the update, Dom?
Yeah,
on
that's
that?
about it. You were right that if she doesn't answer, then silence speaks more than the words at that point.
Absolutely.
And I just did like a one-shot text. I'm not gonna ask again and be like, hey, I
But
really wanna talk to you.
one-shot text a lot of times makes the difference in terms of, because once you text, what happens is there's a confirmation. It's like
That you're available.
Yeah, it's a confirmation of that I cut him off and I did the right thing.
That you're accessible.
Yeah.
And women, when you're accessible, ironically, women don't respect you as much. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
But there's something about that.
Yeah, but if you think about it logically, it's just like supply and demand. Oh, let's get the number up too, Don, please. Let's get the number up. 513-202 Nero is the number.
Nice.
The Cash App is up too. You know how to do. Give me some money. Give me some money.
But what's the next step for Dom outside of this now?
Dom has
aside from fixing this. I don't care about fixing this because this is not useful. Dom deserves better than this.
Right.
So what is the next step for him?
So Dom, this is where you hear me talk about the laying the 5 bricks. Yes. Okay. Are you familiar with what that is? Real quick, one more time. The telephone numbers, the phone line's open. 513-202 Nero Nero. So call up. What is your expectation, Dom, or what do you think laying the 5 bricks is?
Fortunately, I don't have too much expectations, but.
But do you know what I mean when I say that, or have I ever explained that to you? I don't know.
I remember you hearing it, but if you could.
Well, explain it for the people who haven't heard
All
it,
right,
because there's
so
always
it
new
is
listeners.
Going out. This is a plan that I put together. This is what, don't forget, on the consultations, this is what I put guys through a program where I tell them to lay the 5 bricks. Laying the 5 bricks means going out, talking to 5 women a day, saying, paying 5 compliments a day to strangers, women,
non-sexual,
honest. They have to be honest compliment, has to be non-sexual, and it's an array of different women. It's not just the women that you like. It's older women, younger women, and you are not allowed to. It has to be honest. So the compliment has to be something that is honest, observable, and honest, and it has to be non-sexual, and you are not allowed to get the number in the beginning. You don't get the number. Look, if she forces you to take the number, then you can take that. But
you're not trying to get a number.
You are not supposed to get the number. And the importance of not getting the number is because I've said this 100 times. Women are probably the most intuitive human beings in the world. They know they have to, because this is where the empathy comes in with Ace. Because the empathy is that women, every time a woman goes out with a guy, she has to be concerned about whether or not the guy will SA her or grape her. And so she has to always pick and choose pick men very carefully, because it's dangerous for her. So this is how women become so intuitive about when a guy is full of shit. Now, trust me, there could be a guy who's a piece of shit, there's red flags, but if she's attracted to him and she's already made it, and she's emotionally attracted to him and whatever, or physically attracted,
she will ignore those red flags.
She will ignore the red flags. It's not that she doesn't see the red flags. She has just made a conscious effort to not recognize those red flags, and she's given somebody a chance beyond that. There's a few things that happen that are really important about that whole process. Number one, every guy that I've ever counseled are liars. Every single one. Now, when I say liars, people get triggered by it because they think I'm a horrible person. But no, when you think, most men, when you think of liars, what they think about is I'm trying to steal some money, or I'm trying to take somebody's
like
girl.
A con man, yeah.
Yes, that is a type of lie. But there's also the lie that exists simply because what you're trying to do is you're trying to avoid confrontation. So you will not be honest because you don't want to confront a situation where that might create a problem where you'll have to answer to at some point in time. The other lie is the lie where you lie because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So you may not feel the same way, but you lie because you don't want them to be left out in the cold. Understand something. A lie is a lie is a lie. This is why credibility and honesty is so important, because I've said this 100 times, if you are 90% trustworthy, that is the definition of being a liar. You have to be 100% 10 toes down honest where your intention. Now, I understand that nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
People make mistakes and so on.
What kind of lies are these guys telling you when you do a consultation, and how does that affect their
when
their
somebody
growth?
When somebody is going she wants to go someplace that you don't want to go.
Right.
Or she wants to watch something.
Uh-oh.
Big shout out, $20 from Ahmed Mahmoud. What's going on, Ahmed? $20 from Ahmed. Thanks from the Cash App.
Nice.
And
that $20 is halal too, judging by that name. I love it.
Don't play.
I love it.
Don't play. But it's what was I saying?
Well, we're talking about a guy lying about it. Oh, going somewhere you don't want to go.
You don't want to go. It's somewhere I don't want to go. Now, I'm not saying you can't make a compromise about somewhere you want to go, but you need to be clear that this is not something that
I'm doing it for them.
I'm doing this as a favor to you. You don't go, oh, you want to go to the ballet?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I love the ballet. You're lying.
You're lying.
You go, I don't really like the ballet, but I mean, if you want me to come, I would go.
Yeah, because what happens is you make that concession silently, and then you're expected to do those things over and over again, and then when you don't like it, you're the bad guy, and you're criticized for that.
Yeah, and here's an interesting thing. I talked about Harry. I talk about Harry all the time and his process of where he had five on the roster.
Excuse me, 8. Please.
Eight
Please.
on the roster.
Please.
But
international and domestic. 8.
And
at one time.
And I always talk about this, but Harry has a girl now.
Yeah.
And it don't change.
No, it's still the same work. The same work.
The rules are the same.
I'm in a relationship now. They're the same rules you have to partake in, and in when you're dating, it's all the same. Yeah. Because my girl still wants to do certain things, and I'm like, I don't want to do it, but if it's important to you, I'll do it. But just understand, I'm doing this because you want to do it. Like, watching this romantic comedy,
yeah.
I do not like romantic comedies, but if this is what you want to watch on our movie night,
yeah,
then all right, fine. But then I get to pick another one. Because it's important to do that, because otherwise what happens is you condition yourself in a relationship
right.
where you're constantly doing things you don't want to do, and you better be happy about it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not happy about it, then you're a bad guy, and then they start criticizing you. Because it's not enough that you do the thing. You have to pretend that you're happy about it.
Yeah, like it too.
Which turns you into a liar, and you become resentful of that person, and you end up doing things you don't want to do. Where if you set that expectation up front,
right.
Okay, you're limiting the things that... which she shouldn't be doing things you don't want to do anyway.
Right.
But a woman
and she doesn't have to
that.
do the things that you.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
if you like hockey, nobody's making her.
Yeah. I won't make her sit down and watch, a wrestling documentary that I like unless she's.
Another one. $5 from Wilver Sepulveda. Sepulveda.
Nice.
Shout out to Wilver Sepulveda. Thank you for the $5 on the Cash App. Appreciate you. And
it's also not appreciated if you don't mention it. So you
right.
get no credit, so to speak,
right.
for doing this thing you don't want to do. You don't want to go pumpkin picking. Here you are in a pumpkin patch, bored out of your mind, and not only do you not get credit for it, she gets upset if you're not happy about it.
Right. You got to be happy about something you don't like.
Right.
So and then it becomes and it's okay. It's okay for you to make that compromise, but you got to be clear that you're making a compromise. And so this becomes, you start to set the boundaries up for a relationship where it's a give and take. It's not just you. Can you do me a favor, Dom? Please look up the definition of compromise, please. I haven't done this in a while, and I always do this because it needs to be said. But you got to be in a situation where you're open and honest about where you're at. You got it? Go ahead, read it, Don.
Compromise, an agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions.
Okay, so
each side making concessions.
The clear part of that is each side making concession. That doesn't mean that she gets to call you when she wants, or like this chick that you was dealing with, she makes all the standards, and then you got to go along when she does, and then when she don't want to be bothered, she don't want to be bothered. You don't do everything. It means what it means in essence. Both of us are not completely happy. We both make concessions. We come from different walks of life. We come from different cultures. We come from different families. And what I like is not necessarily what you like. And we don't whenever you have a relationship, you have to make compromises.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
but you both make compromises.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean compromise doesn't mean shut the fuck up and do what I say.
I'll go along with you as long as you stop breaking my balls is not a compromise. And that's what most married men and most people in relationships end up doing, because guys don't want to have the fight.
Right.
So
happy life, happy wife, which means your happiness becomes secondary or lastary to the point where
just nuts that's acceptable behavior. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Like if the other way, like keep your husband happy or else is not an acceptable.
Oh, they'd lose your mind.
Yeah, you'd lose your mind because it's not right.
Said that. So,
but that's what it means. You got to look out for your happiness. Put your happiness first, because if you don't, she won't.
She won't. Well, here's the thing, and Dom is the type of dude, really, he liked this girl and he wanted to make her happy. And so
nice guys care about other people.
Yes.
And to put other people first. I know from experience, because that's what I did most of my life, especially when it came to relationships.
Yeah.
I'm always like, oh, let me make sure this person is happy.
Yeah.
And if it's not being reciprocated, which as a man, you're never going to get 100% return on anything you do as a man ever.
Yeah.
That's you just have to accept that going in.
Yeah.
No matter, I'm with a great chick, my girl is fantastic. I'm never going to get 100% reciprocation for everything, and you just can't expect that. Right?
And
That's
you
the duty of being a
will
man.
also get, even though it's unfair and it's uneven, you will still get, I just wish you would.
Yeah.
If you could just, it doesn't even matter. Even though you're working at a deficit, understand that there's still going to be that.
Yeah.
So, so there's that. So
what's the next? Sorry, we went off roading a little bit. What are the next steps for Dom? I want to help Dom.
Dom has to start laying the 5 bricks, but he has to say honest. But the reason why it was explained in the lie is not wanting to have the argument. The other lie is, do I look fat in this dress? Now, you don't have to say you look like a fucking pig with lipstick. You don't have to say that.
Who, you Dice?
But
you fucking animal. Look at you.
But you could say, I don't think
it's not flattering.
That doesn't flatter you.
Yeah.
You got to be honest, because here's why the honesty is important. The authenticity and the honesty is the ace part of the A part of ACE. It's because if I'm a liar, when I tell you I love you, how does she believe you? Yeah. How does she believe that you actually love her? Because she doesn't know when you're lying or when you're not lying, when you're playing half truths. How does she know that when you say what you're saying, if you're trying to avoid the argument, or if you don't want to hurt her feelings? You
just want to. Oh, we got another one.
Hold on. Cash that $5 from Executive Suite MLE. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you for the $5. Boo boo.
But the irony is also, a woman will respect you more.
Oh yeah.
Because you're not criticizing. You're going, baby, I don't like the way that it doesn't look good with those boots. There's something off about it.
And
she will respect you more for it, and appreciate you for it.
And respect you more because if you're with somebody who you can't be honest with, you run.
Yeah.
Run, because you are going to be doomed to compromise, not even to compromise, to putting your happiness last, her happiness first, and there'll never be a situation where she'll say, she's never going to wake up one day and go, you know what? I know you're tired of fucking me all the time, so I brought somebody home to give you some variety. That's not going to happen. So you'll end up making the compromise till no end. And
it's
then
not even compromises. You're just doing other people's bidding.
Yeah.
You're just going
it doesn't get better.
No.
It just gets worse. And then she gets comfortable with the fact that she never has to consider your happiness.
It's just the way it is. It becomes an expectation.
And there's relationships. I mean, there's hundreds of relationships. People that are listening right now that are going through that right now.
Yeah.
Never even consider they just. If I could just get this bitch to stop yelling at me, that would be. I would compromise that. So that's why the authenticity is important, and the only way you can practice that is you have to practice being honest. You would think that I say just be honest, right? That seems like a simple task, right?
Yeah, but if you're overly nice or just generally nice, people don't want to hurt people's feelings, so they lie. And it's a lie, and it's just you're trying not to hurt people's feelings, but you're not giving them the truth. You're not being helpful, and you're not being honest to yourself.
Yeah.
So all right, so he needs to lay the 5 bricks.
Lay the 5 bricks. Be honest, and that's the first step.
Yeah,
has to be honest. Has to be non-sexual. Has to be, and the only way you can pay an honest compliment is that you have to be present. So you just don't go, like your hat. It should be something that you're honestly attracted to, or you think is special.
Something that you care about.
It could be a vintage shirt. It could be some cool sneakers. It could be any number, but it has to be honest, because you would think you don't have to. It's not. It's easy to be honest, but it's not. You have to learn it, because we have been lying, and especially nice guys been lying and trying to fit in and not offend people.
A lot of nice guys is like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, hey, do you mind if I bring my friend along? Yeah, sure, that's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not. You didn't want her friend to come along.
Yeah.
You're not okay with it. Like, this is a bummer.
Oh, I was thinking I have a friend. Can I bring a friend? No. What do you mean no? Well, I'm not interested in your friend. I'm interested in getting to know you. And at least saying that puts it out on the line so that you don't waste your time. Whereas if you're too nice and you put it out there like you don't mind, you're wasting your time. 513-202-NERO. The number's up. Call in. The other thing is I was on the road,
Sure.
Right? And I'm not
doing what though? What do you do on the road?
Comedy. I was doing comedy.
Mention your stand-up comedian.
I am a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Stop playing, see me. I'm funny as hell. And a young female comic was with a friend of mine.
Okay.
I won't get into who, whatever. And she was awful.
Oh boy.
Hot, smoking hot, absolutely smoking hot, but
not funny.
I mean, she's only been doing it a hot minute, right?
How long is a minute? Like
less than a year.
Oh, you're not funny.
Yeah,
nobody's
you
funny.
Can't be.
You can't be funny for like the first 7
goes
years.
On stage,
5-7
comes
years,
off. Yeah. I did right. I did good, right? I know you stunk it up.
You
it
wasn't good.
You
stunk
it up. I stuck. I just appalled because she's such a little hottie. Every guy is telling her that she did great. You know.
Right.
No, you stunk.
Because they're trying to hook up with her. Or just sometimes even if you're not hooking up, guys just want
guys
to be around a hot chick and just lie.
I was like, yo, you stunk it up. But I also said, I said, look, you only been doing a short while. You're supposed to stink.
It's going to take time.
This is just like what I say if
you're not just being mean. You are giving like information.
I'm being honest.
Like it wasn't good, but it's going to take time for you to get better. And the only way you get better is
and I
doing it over
also
and over again.
I wouldn't volunteer that
she
information.
Did ask, yeah.
She asked. So if she asked, you have an obligation to tell the truth. But then we're just talking, just yapping, just nonstop. I met this, I met Dave Chappelle, I met Kevin Hart. I go, you know me, Harry's known me a long time.
Sure, 20 years.
What do you think I said? Would you ever shut up? Could you ever?
She was yapping.
Oh, she was.
Yeah, eventually you go. First, you probably, if I know you, you go. Is the first one. The first hint is going. Like a loud.
And then they usually won't ask me what's wrong, because I'd be like, because if they ask me, I would go, would you just keep yapping?
The story stinks.
You don't never stop talking.
You keep talking. You got nothing to say.
And then fucking just kept going, right? Just was, I am delightful. No, you're not. You're annoying. You're annoying. You never stop talking.
Anyone who has to say they're delightful, by the way, you're not delightful.
513-202-NERO. Call in. Also, and here's the funny thing. So what happened was, but my friend,
sure,
she was there at the behest of my friend, right, on the road. So I'm trying to be polite because I don't want, I'm
not trying to ruin it for your friend.
Yeah, I don't want
his business.
I don't want to screw him up.
Sure.
So this is the so we you're there for the whole week, right? I go to a different restaurant than they go. I call to pick them up. Me, my friend, this girl gets in the car, and she goes, "Oh, Dante, I bought you something." I'm like, "Oh wow, she's not a piece of shit, huh?" Right? Went to the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
So
you got a nice slice of cheesecake? That's fantastic. I love a cheesecake.
I love a cheesecake, too. I go, I take the bag, I take it upstairs.
Sure. You're not an animal. You don't just open it in the car.
I'm not, what am I going to eat it with my hands? What am I, a gavone? Right? I go upstairs, I look at it's just pasta.
Okay.
Pasta and sauce. Not a chicken parm, Dom.
No.
Not
an entree.
Not a fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. No, just
which means that she didn't get
it's
that
her leftovers.
It's her leftovers.
It's her leftovers. Yeah.
It was a to-go bag.
So I'm a homeless dude now. I'm a fucking homeless dude, right? Hey, you look like you're hungry.
Oh my God.
Mind you, you're driving around in my car.
Right. That's a crazy thing to do.
I'm furious, but I talk to a friend and I go, hey. And my friend goes, well, what are you gonna do? She goes, I'm gonna just let it go. I don't wanna cock block my man. He's not like me, right? They not like us, right? So I don't say nothing.
So you won't say anything in that situation unless they ask you. So it's like a vampire. You have to be invited in.
Oh, yeah.
But if you invite me in, I'm biting that neck.
I'm draining the house.
That's the mistake she made. It was like, hey, did I do all right?
So she gets in the car and goes, Did you like what I gave you?
Oh, no.
Oh my God. I go, are you out of your fucking mind? I go, you disrespectful, selfish. But what I did do was I called her a basic bitch and a cunt, what I was mad at myself because here's the thing. Even though I was angry, right? I should never be so angry that I'm out of control. You know why? Because you never let emotion have a seat at the table. You never let it have a seat at the table. You always maintain your composure. But what happened was when
it's so egregious and so her asking it's passive aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like a chick politics or bitch politics, as you call it, because that seems like a thing you do to a woman.
Yeah.
Because someone did that to my girlfriend. They gave her a used purse.
Oh, wow.
A used pocketbook as a gift. Oh, I got you something from my trip, and it was a used pocketbook, but not like I'm not saying from like a nice
an old one.
No, it was like a worn pocketbook.
Had pretzels in it, an old peppermint, right?
We found a Certs in there. A Certs.
Yeah, old out of the wrapper too, just raw dog and peppermint in it.
A movie ticket stub from Jurassic Park opening weekend.
Number two. So I lose my shit. I go, you disrespectful. You're selfish. You're unappreciative. I go, what? You're a basic bitch, right? Oof. And I go, the fact that you think that, and she goes, and this was her response. Her response was, I'm sorry that my kindness wasn't kind enough for you, which is passive aggressive.
Sure.
Not accountable.
That's not an apology. That's saying that I'm sorry that you don't understand how to comprehend this.
And I go, what you should stop talking. I'm so angry and furious. I go, you should stop talking. Now it's uncomfortable because now my boy who's spanking it, is clapping, he's
stank on his hang low.
Yeah, he gets some stank on his hang low. He's got to deal with the fact
the aftermath, the blowout.
Not only that, because I was out of myself, which I'm not proud of. And he sends me a text. He says to me, "Listen, everything you said is right, but could you please apologize for calling her a basic bitch?" And fair enough, I can do that. So I gave one of my famous not apologies, right?
Well, sometimes you apologize when you're wrong, but if you're upset with somebody, you can give a half apology where the person leaves going, "Why do I feel worse?"
I was like, "I know you a bitch ass nigga, but let me just say,
no, you'd be like, "I'm sorry that you
are
a bitch," and they go, "Thank you, thank you."
So, but it was so interesting because just the way she thought, like her hotness just overrided any level of decency.
Because in all fairness to her, it has. Because guys do anything and everything, so she has no concept. She thinks she's delightful because somebody used the word delightful in front of her because they're trying to get with her.
Yeah, it was.
And nobody tells her the truth because she's hot. And she thinks she's good at comedy. She thinks that she's a delightful, wonderful person. She thinks she's smart because nothing but compliments from dudes trying to hook up with her.
And then she's flirting with waiters, right? Not with the intention on hooking up, but just
that's how she operates.
This is just how she operates
because that's how she gets free stuff.
This is how, Dom. This is what I'm saying. This is why when you told the story, I was like, oh, this is. But you have to be. You got to be honest with yourself. It's like somebody's dangling a carrot in front of you when they have no intention on they're just insincere in the first place. And only way you can deal with that is that you have to be clear about the fact of what your standards are. What do you want out of this? And it can't be just, oh, if I could just be on the field. We got a call. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hello, who am I talking to? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Hello? Hello? Yeah, what's your name, bro?
Oh, my name's Theo, man. Theo from New York, man.
Theo, is it Theo Wells?
Yes, yeah.
Hold on real quick.
Cash App.
Hold on. Shout out to Theo Wells, $5 on the Cash App. Thank you, baby. How can I help you, Theo?
Thank you, man. You've been cracking cracking our heads open for fucking years now. You and Harry, so I appreciate that, man.
Thank you,
what
Theo.
it is. You know what it is. Theo, is this
Actually, I said-
Theo, the marketing dude?
Yes, yeah, Tay, it's me.
What up, D? What up? How you doing? Theo, just so y'all know, Theo has had counsel with me a couple of times and stuff. So I appreciate you calling. What can I help you, T?
So there's something I've been messing up on. I can't exactly find it. I noticed there's this thing that happens where I'll take women out, right? Or I'll meet them at random spots. We'll have a good time. You know, they're like following me around for a brief period of time. But then I notice when it's time to follow up for the next meeting, I'm getting like some sort of like pushback. Not necessarily like ghosting, but I feel like someone's like pulling back. Right? And I don't know what I'm doing to cause that.
All right, Harry, because I'm always running my mouth, and Harry, I've been working with Harry. So Harry, you go ahead and feel this. I'll get wherever you miss out.
I'm not 100% on this, but I'm wondering if maybe he's too accessible in between, maybe too many texts, too much.
I mean, that's
a guess because we're missing something. There's something.
Okay, here. So I mean, you can ask him questions if you don't.
Well, Theo, I mean, is there from one date to try to follow up? You're saying you have a good time on the first date. How much communication are you having with them after that date?
It could be either one text for the next follow-up, right, as far as, like, you know, the next meetup time, or it could be a call maybe to see how somebody's doing.
Okay, so
if they don't answer, I start pulling back a lot.
Okay, so it's not that.
Okay, so let me say this. Here's where I don't disagree, but you said it was usually what's going to happen is even if you're on the phone. If you're on the phone and you're talking, what you're doing is you're cultivating a relationship. This is something that I found out recently is young dudes don't even talk on the phone.
No, everything is texting.
They go texting.
Apps,
they go from the app to the date. And there's no reason to ever do that. You need to speak to somebody on the phone. Because here's the thing. In essence, somebody's going, I got the date. That's all I care about. But what you should be really doing is if you have confidence in what you have to offer, right, you should be vetting her as well. Just because she wants to go out on a date doesn't make it okay. You need to talk to her, ask her questions. So because if she gives you red flags, well, I don't go to the Cheesecake Factory. Like you right away you should be like, nah, I'm good. Forget it, right? Because this is what we get with guys who haven't been in the game because they don't have options.
Sure.
Secondly, here's the thing, Theo. What I would say is you're probably not hooking them in like you're not. Okay. So here's the thing: if you ever watch bass fishing, right? Like professional fishing, the guy gets a nibble on the rod, right? What's the first thing he does? Do you know, Theo?
I would say he starts reeling in slowly, but not too hard.
Nope.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
What'll do? Soon as they get the nibble, they yank the hook. Do you know why they yank the hook?
No, tell me.
To make sure the hook is in.
To sink the hook in.
Yeah, to make sure the hook is in.
You will never see somebody roll it in slowly. What you want to do is when you get the nibble, the hope is that the fish bites the hook, and then you yank it and you sink the hook into the mouth. I know this is a little violent when it comes to, but here's my point. My point is, you're in a situation, the relationship is good. You have to define who you are. You have to define who your personality is, what you are. She should be like, oh, really? Like, because if not, it's just a boring date that she's gotten so comfortable with you that it doesn't matter who you are. You're just another guy who's spending money on her, taking her out. You need to define yourself from everybody else who takes her out. And then know that even when that is the case, even when they like you, understand something. This is something that I haven't said in a long time. But women will they will find every reason why not to sleep with you when you go out, right? And once they sleep with you, they will find every reason why they did. he was cute. I was ovulating. Because they don't want to be accountable for the fact that they might have made a shitty decision. And so you have to discern, you have to divide yourself from the pack. You have to step out of the pack. And in order to do that, you got to sink the hook in. And what is that? That means your date, like one of the things about Harry, when I was working with Harry early on, like we worked on every aspect of his dating. Like we learned how to time travel, which y'all want to check out the Patreon. The Patreon is patreon.com/manschool202, and we'll cover it again. But that's a great way to support the show. But
every aspect of my dating life we worked on it. Everything, conversations,
every step,
closing, opening,
timing, how to move from like I've talked to you before, Theo, about time travel and stuff, moving from venue to venue and stuff which is another technique. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but every aspect of it. But still, in all, you can have a great date. But if you haven't, so that's I remember Harry going, man, she said, oh, this was the best date I've ever had in my life. Like, even now, when he, on special occasions with his girl, he'll talk about that if he can.
Just making sure everything is set, time traveling.
Everything.
I mean, I take care. I try to make sure everything is done to create an atmosphere and also to create an experience. You know, one of the things I do is I make sure there's a high energy thing that we do, so it creates an energy between us. You know, it's not just picking a romantic restaurant and things like that.
Now,
so
do you remember why I told you to do that, or why we do that? Do you remember?
Because it changes the mood of the person, so it makes her feel like if you're at a quiet restaurant, it makes it feel like this interaction is quiet and that you're quiet and that you're low energy.
Right.
Where if you're in a place like that has more vibe, more fun.
If you go Halloween, if you go to a horror house, right, where people are, or you go to an amusement park, or you go to roller skates or something like that.
Yeah.
So I remember talking to Harry, and I'm cool, real good friends with his girl, and God, when it comes to like her birthday, like Harry will. He like she'll say, "Oh, I love this band," and he'll take a note.
Oh, so yeah, I'll do that. That's a nice technique that I learned how to do. If you're with a girl, you're in a relationship, she mentions something that she likes, I pull out the phone later on, I put it in the notes, a whole list of things. If she goes, "Oh, I love Depeche Mode," my girl's like, "I used to listen to Depeche Mode. Guess what I got her for her birthday? Depeche Mode tickets at Barclays Center." And it's like 3 months later.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did you know?
How did you know? You told me, Goofy.
You told me. You just listen. If you listen and pay attention, that person will tell you what they like. If she goes, "Oh, I used to like strawberry shortcake when I was a kid. That was my favorite." What do? I go on eBay. I get the strawberry shortcake doll. And she's like, "Oh, my God." So it's about paying attention to what they want and creating that experience. But you have to be paying attention.
You got to be present.
You got to be present.
Which is exactly, Dom, listen to this. That is why when you give the compliment, you have to give the compliment that's honest. It teaches you how to be present, to take a pause and be present where you're at. The other thing is you should be creating this dossier profile. You got to be like a white racist cop and a young black dude with a hoodie. You got a profile. You got to create a profile that and every woman that you date, you should be creating a profile. And if you can't remember it, you
Dude, I literally write it down.
Make a note.
I literally
because
write
Harry
it down.
can't remember shit.
No, I don't remember anything. But it doesn't matter. I would just write it down late and sometimes I'll write it down in front of her. And she won't even remember it. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't know or whatever. But here's the thing, Theo. I think what you're doing is you're not
hooking them in enough.
You're not hooking them in. You're not sinking the hook in. You're not paying attention. You're not listening. You're not finding that thing. And sometimes it's just not enough conversation for you to do that, but you still got to be able to move on your feet, you know?
So what adjustments can Theo make when he's going out on the next date?
Like when you're talking, but this is why you got to have a phone call. You got to have a phone call so that you're vetting her to see if you even want to spend the time and the energy on somebody who's worth it, because she may not be worth it. But the other thing is, you should be like, "Oh, I had a friend of mine, she has a peanut allergy." Find out if she has a peanut allergy. Find out if she has a shellfish allergy. Find if she likes chocolate. What's her favorite flavor? What's her favorite like, dog, I used to have I would know a girl's shoe size, her underwear size, what size her bra was.
I write all that down in my notes.
Write it down. And then when it comes time, when you're trying to lay this date out, you're laying this date out with the advantage of information.
Personalize it, yeah.
Which makes you stand out, because most guys, what are most guys going to do? They're going to do, oh, we're going to go to a movie, let's go live, and then we're
going to have dinner, and then we go to TGI Fridays.
And it's the same thing over and over. So, Theo, and Theo, this is another thing. I haven't spoke to you, Theo, in how long? When's the last time we had a concert?
Who was president?
Probably said it was 6 to 8 months, maybe.
No, it's gotta be longer than that, dog. This is 2025. We haven't spoke in.
Yeah, wow.
So, but this is another thing. Consult. DanteNero.com. Also, Harry does consultations at advicefromharry@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But Dante, you can go to DanteNero.com, click on consult. You should be consulting. There's no way in the world that this is a problem, Theo, right? That hasn't happened to you several times for you to call in. So this has been going on.
You're right. It's a thing that I noticed. There was like this weird pattern. I was like, all right, wait a minute. There's got to be something that I'm doing, and I can't find it. And it's weird. Like, I feel like whenever I would try, not just like different things, but like even like paying attention to certain small details.
Yeah.
Or taking someone out to key spots that they mentioned. Like even now, like I don't do text. Like I do phone calls just because I just like talking. Like I'd rather talk.
Yeah, but you should never. You should. The whole point of doing the text message is to get to the phone call so you can speak to them. I say this: look, if somebody's don't want to talk to you on the phone, their chances are they're not going to put your dick in their mouth. It just doesn't work.
It's a big leap.
That's a huge leap. And the thing is, I haven't spoke. It has to be at least 2 years I spoke to you, Theo. But this is what happens. You know, guys get it, things start working, and then when it starts falling off,
they fix one problem, and they're like, all right, cool, I'm set.
Yeah,
I'm good.
You got to be ready for the Super Bowl, dog. You got to.
But I like that Theo. You know what? He's took initiative. He's calling the show. He's trying to fix it. He's being self-analytical. Like, hey, something I'm doing is wrong.
But I guarantee you that, and tell me if I'm wrong, Theo, at least 6 women have fucking kind of ghosted you before you.
Semi-ghost, whatever, yeah.
Semi-ghosted you.
Well, and all in different ways.
Right.
So like it was, like I'll notice, like one, I might meet at an event, right? And we hit it off well, things are cool. We end up talking after the event. We probably find like, a nearby diner, sit down, chill. And everything seems to work out well, right? And then when it's time to meet again, right, there's like a weird, not pushback per se, but like this.
Yeah, but I'm not excited. She's not excited about it. She's like, okay, whatever, let's see her. Let me ask you this. What if you went to the diner, right, and got a bite to eat, and it was like, yo, I know this little after-hour bar. Let's go over there. They play live music, and you had bounced from that to that. And what if you time-traveled her impromptu? You understand? And then she was like, "Yo, she's having a good time, having drinks."
Time travel. You should explain time travel now if you're bringing that up. It's it's just taking a girl on a date to multiple locations because psychologically it feels like several dates instead of spending 4 hours in one location where it's just one long date.
And my throat hurts, so you explain to me why that is.
Because psychologically it creates more comfort. Because more dates create more comfort.
Also, because women will say, "I don't kiss on the first date."
Oh yeah, exactly.
I don't kiss. I don't get physical. But when every location you go to feels like a new date.
It feels like a new date.
And so as you move from location to location, you escalate the touch,
the emotional connection. You escalate
and the physical touch.
Yeah.
Because
you can't go from no physical touching to a kiss because they do that in movies. So you think that's how it works. So you kiss on the first date.
But I'm curious. Do y'all ever notice though that like even like after some slight touching, after some slight kissing, there's like a weird pullback? Right?
Yeah. I just said that a woman will find every reason why not to have sex with you, but once she has sex with you, she'll come up with every this. You got to understand, Theo. You know me a long time. Everything that I've said is in the context of everything that I've said before. It's just I understand that the difficulty is to reapply. It's to reapply the same situations over and over and know where they fit in. But everything, and this is why I repeat the same things over and over again. So if you if she's pulling back, it's because you got to understand something, and this is where the empathy comes. She knows that having sex with you, opening herself, being vulnerable to you. Like let's be honest. What is sex? Sex is this woman allowing you to fill up space in her cavity, in her body cavity. You hear me, Dom? You are taking up space in her body. Like there's nothing more intimate than that. You can't be, but you like
nothing more vulnerable.
You can't hug closer than that. You're in the body cavity. This is why guys who are straight and they get raped, because it emasculates them. They're never right. Like they can't function. Like guys, they get unless they flip, pause. But unless they flip to the other side, because it's such.
That's not how you flip.
It is an but I know dudes who went to prison who got turned out, and they what I'm saying, and it's never was right. Understand that this is an intimate action for them,
and a woman has to look out for her own protection.
Did we lose him?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay. So there's that. So you're not.
Do you mean to hit that one?
It was accident, but it worked out fine. So that's the thing. You're not hooking it in.
Hooking it in, and when you talk about if you're sensing that there is a weird feeling after you kiss or do the physical touch, it means you didn't create enough comfort and security before you went to that level.
Oh, here's a great thing. So you just reminded me of something.
Sure.
Okay, so there's 3. In order to create the classic situation of seduction, right? You have to first create trust, right? You have to open, right? There's trust, there's attraction, and then there's the seduction. It comes in 3 phases, right? The open is that banter, like what you were saying, Theo, when you meet her at an event and y'all are kicking it back and forth. Oh, really? Blah, 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 blah. And there's this kind of playful banter, right?
That trust is like comfort.
That creates the attraction. The comfort is when she goes, well, what are you doing here? And where were you? Well, I'm actually in marketing, and I work with so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm actually was here because of so-and-so. And you're giving these credentials that you're not some homeless dude who snuck into the event and is raping McRaperson. You know what I mean? So you create
that guy's
comfort.
Secretary of State now, right?
Right. I know. He's definitely in the cabinet.
Just approved him.
Yeah. Then when the seduction starts to happen, now here's the thing. If you try the seduction before if you get the attraction but you don't create the comfort, right? Then what you have afterwards is buyer's remorse. So if you get the attraction and she moves too quickly, then she'll regret the sexual connection because you didn't create the comfort. If you create the comfort without the attraction, that's what puts you in the friend zone. And if you don't have attraction or comfort and you go right to the seduction, that is grape.
That's grape.
That's an assault. That's an SA. So you need all 3 parts to get to that, and understand women are like a crock pot, man. You got to put the ingredients in and you got to let it bubble. You got to put the seed. It takes time. When men are like a boop, 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 like a microwave. Like you put my dick in your mouth, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's like when I was talking to Dom and Dom was like, well, she wants to, I understand she wants to take it slow. And I was like, you don't want to take it slow. You're just tolerating her nonsense. So that's it's a easy fix, Theo. You have to sink the hook in. You have to be more interesting. And she's not responding. The pullback comes from you not really making it something that she wants to really pursue, something that's memorable. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right, D, get a consultation. Stop playing, dog. You always put that distance, and then you wonder why the problems are. DanteNero.com. Click on consult. You know how to get me. All right, brother. Appreciate you calling.
All right.
Let's get them numbers up, man. Claws are running in slow today, and my man is here to kind of help me out.
No worries. I mean,
so let's get that number up. It's 513-202-NERO, Nero, live consultations. Call in. The Cash App is up. Give me some money.
So we do have some super chats.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Got $5 from Brett Watson.
Yes, sir.
Brett
This
Watson.
is a super chat to you for confirming to me that I need to leave a person alone that I've been dealing with for years. Thank you.
That's cool. Brett, call in. Let's talk
I'd
about
love
it.
to know the details of what.
Yeah,
what-
I'd love to
how
know
he
that.
How Dante shifted it.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we have another one from the name Shut Up, Australian $7.99.
Wow.
They're trying to call in, so hopefully they'll get in. We have a caller on the line right now.
Let's
Hopefully
go.
it's
Let's do
them.
it. Let's
Let's
hear
go.
it.
And then just one last donation, $10 from Angela Washington.
Angela
Thank you,
Washington.
Angie. She's a
Nice.
regular. Angie, shout out to Angie. What up? Some good brother that got his shit together. Go and call Angela up and knock that booty down. You put some smoke, knock the dust off it, Angie.
Yeah, let's make it happen. 2025.
Let's go.
Let's rip it good.
Who we got? What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello?
Cash App earlier. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? Who's this?
Yeah, this is Executive Suite.
What up,
Nice.
Exec? What up? What's going on, family? Where you calling from, doggy?
No, I'm calling from New York, Bronx, New York.
Awesome. The BX in the building. How can I help you, bro?
Yes, sir. No, I was just calling. I was at the show on Saturday in Nyack.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I go way back to Beige Phillip days.
Yeah, no doubt.
So like I was very familiar with everything you were saying up there, and it was just crazy. I was sitting right there in front, being my lady, the 9:30 show.
Did you say
What
hello?
What day? Because we did
Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and
Saturday.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Okay.
Saturday.
I probably would
Saturday.
remember because I was doing crowd work and stuff, but can you believe the nonsense I went through on like crazy? But
Bruh,
and
crazy.
and you know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, stunk it up. Am I lying or no? Am I exaggerating?
Did you stink it up?
No, did she stunk it?
Oh, homegirl.
Yeah.
Oh. Yo, I saw you peek out.
Yeah.
I saw you peek out from behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Like Sandman Sims. I was like, oh, shit. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know if I could curse. I can
No,
curse.
Yeah, you can curse.
My bad.
You can curse.
Yeah, I saw you peek out like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it was not good.
So then he comes out, and he's like, yo, I spoke to y'all. I told y'all. Don't do that. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, but
It's real crazy.
how can I help you, bro? What's going on? Talk to me.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make a comment about one of the brothers that called in. Not the last guy, the guy before.
First of all, tell
you
everybody
said-
how I murdered that show, please, because people don't know I'm a
Oh,
comic.
Yeah.
They just think I'm
Now,
a
listen,
pimp.
Dante. The crowd was weak, but Dante controlled that crowd.
Nice.
He had them laughing.
Yeah, we had a ball, man.
I go back to 2015, Beige Phillip, so I already know you.
Yeah.
funny.
I
So
appreciate
you had me and my lady at stitches, but
That's dope.
the crowd, like, you had them involved, like, they wasn't really feeling homegirl.
Hold on. Shout out Raymond, $25.
Nice.
Thank you for the cash app, Raymond, for $25.
Nice.
But go ahead. Well, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to interview you. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Nah, it's cool. You got listen. Money first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on what the brother was saying about the girl being hot and cold and him, getting a date and then like they go cold. My thing is, I just think that he's just a little like he needs to build himself up.
Well,
Because
yeah,
he's
there's
too afraid to
definitely a confidence issue why you don't, because he's also another good dude, right? And what happens when you're a good dude, you don't want to rock the boat.
You don't want to do too much because I would do that. Oh, I don't want to do anything to scare her off.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to do anything.
I don't want to make no mistake.
Because then I just worked hard to get this date, and I'm worried. When am I going to get another one if I scare her
and
off?
That's the part right there.
Yeah.
That's the part right there. He needs to, and a lot of guys out there,
Yeah.
you can't be afraid to flip the card table.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, you can't
Like,
you
You can't play not to lose.
Yeah, you can't wait
try
not
to
to
play
like
not to lose.
we saw that Super Bowl.
Oh, boy.
dog. You gotta go for the
You gotta
win.
play to win. You gotta go.
You gotta
for
play
the
to
win.
win. You gotta play to
Yeah.
win. If you don't play to win, then
Yeah.
you ain't playing. Like you can't defensively try not to make any mistakes because you're gonna get that's the response. Go ahead.
But he was saying something there about flipping the card table. That you do have to be ready to pull the ejection seat at any point. And
Yeah.
that confidence alone it makes a big difference because you don't tolerate nonsense, and it's not even nonsense.
Yeah.
You don't tolerate stuff that doesn't make you happy. You don't waste your time, which a lot of guys do because we're scared we'll never get another date.
Yeah.
You know, especially nice
and another
guys.
thing you got to understand is like these women, and this is one of the things I learned from you a long time ago, Dante. They lack integrity, and they're not coming to the table.
But
let me straight up. They for food. They just want to eat.
That is true.
Women,
but let me say this, and you got to understand. I can't tell you how many dudes I know that lack the same integrity. When I talk about honesty, when I talk about authenticity, when I talk about credibility, and I ask, do you rock like that? Like I was saying to Dom, I was like, he was like, well, she wants to take it slow. And I was like, do you want to take it slow? Well, she's been through such and this. And I go, that's not
about you.
No.
None of that. I didn't ask any of that. The honest answer is no, I don't want to take it easy. I like this chick and I want to smash. And if you're not willing to say that, then what you're in essence saying is, I don't deserve that. I'm not worthy. I always say this: how does a woman know who you are? You tell her. You tell her who you are. You tell her that you're not worthy by the timidness and the fact that you move. You got to move like you own it. It's like
we got to control it. We got to control it because we're the ones that got to bring everything to the table. Anyway, we got to be interesting. We got to be funny.
Were you at the first show?
Kind of control it.
Were you at the first show on Saturday?
9:30.
No, the second show, 9:30.
Okay.
9:30 show. We were right there. You said something about age. He was like, yeah, where the young people at?
Yeah. But here's the thing, because you weren't there when the guy heckled me, right?
You got hecked? Nah, I know you tore his ass up.
Yeah.
So it was right after I had the argument with the chick.
Oh, so you were looking for somebody to take your aggression out on.
And this dude said something about I was shooting blanks, and I was like, not when I fucked your mom, splashed off in her pussy, and then I pulled the broken condom off and stuck it to her back, and I walked my dick with your curtain. I was like. Shout out to Peter Guns. Peter Guns was from hip hop. Nice. Peter Guns.
He was there.
Oh yeah, he came in.
He got to witness that lovely interaction.
Building, man.
Yeah. So it's about understand. You gotta, and you know what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. You can't expect this woman. You can't expect this woman to think that you have value if you don't think that you're value. If you think you're worthless and you're acting like it, then she's going to treat you the way that you want to be treated. And whether you realize or not, you communicate your confidence in everything that you do, in every aspect, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress, the cadence of your voice.
The decisions you make. Are you making decisions? Are you indecisive? Women hate indecisiveness. That's a big thing, especially from nice guys. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you want to do? I had the same chick. She called me a dickhead, and I was like, she was like, oh, that's a slang from Philly. I go, I don't give a fuck if it's a slang from Alaska. Don't ever call me out my motherfucking name again. You understand me? And she was like, you're being so sensitive. I go, I don't give a fuck. Because that's the cop out. No, this was like back in the backstage. But this was like the what you call it?
Green
like
room?
It was like, oh, I was just kidding.
I'm just playing around.
Yeah, well, don't fucking play around with me. I'm not your I'm not a child. I'm not your man. And what you do, and even if I was your man, you definitely wouldn't be calling me out don't call me out my fucking. Okay, all right. Then the flip the script is always, I was just kidding. Why are you being so emotional? Yeah,
then it's trying to throw it on you.
You're gonna see emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you gotta be willing to what you said, pull the eject button, press the eject button,
pull the emergency seat.
Yeah, but you're right. It's just it is about self-esteem, and the way you build the self-esteem, and is by practicing ACE. Like when you're honest, when you're credible, when you're empathetic, you have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't understand something, that if you are honest, credible, and empathetic, right? Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as a better human being than you. You cannot be a better human being if you tell the truth, if you keep your word and you have empathy, what is better than that? If you think about anybody, politicians, people, preachers, anybody, if people practice that, there's nothing that you have to hide because everything is you legitimate. You're not misrepresenting yourself. You're not hiding who you are. You are who you are, which means that when you ain't shit or you have a shortcoming, you have to deal with that because it's not just honest with everybody else, but it's honest with yourself. You got to be. It's not just honesty outwardly; it's honesty inwardly. So if you're not presenting yourself in the best way, if you're not dressing and showering and your health and you're not working hard enough to move yourself up and you're not working to get a better job and some chick says you're a loser, it bothers you because you're a loser.
That's a fact.
But conversely, if you're doing all the things right, if you are working hard, when someone calls you a loser, you go, nah. I know what I do. I know what I bring. I'm not.
The same broad was like, you're so nasty. I go, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
I'm not. You're disrespectful, and you're unaware. You're disrespectful.
And
you're
abusive.
selfish, and you're abusive.
Yeah.
And I don't like it, and I cannot like those qualities. And once you start to understand that people can't treat you that way, they respect you more. You know, they respect you more.
Definitely.
And
now her attitude may not change. She's probably still going to continue. But guess who she's not going to call a dickhead again?
Guess who she's not going to fuck with?
Yeah.
Guess
who she's going to be careful around?
Yeah.
So was that the girl? Was you not the girl? The first one that came out. That wasn't her.
Yeah,
that
was her.
It was her.
That was her. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my god.
Not at all.
Like she comes out and she's like the most well-spoken. Like she wasn't really that funny.
No, she was. Well,
but
no.
It's not a well-spoken club. It's a
well-spoken.
comedy club. That's the big problem.
Like
you got to remember,
like
it wasn't a TED Talk. You know what I mean?
it was
You get
like that.
0
It was
points
just
for
like
being
that.
well-spoken on the comedy
Yeah, but
stage.
you don't have to be loud and I'm not. You could be soft-spoken and you could just be disrespectful, condescending.
But to be coming at you with Philly slang, like
it's just
that's just an
I wouldn't
excuse.
expect that.
It's
I wouldn't
just
expect
what
that.
it is it's just trying to be, because when you're a person who doesn't tolerate this kind of behavior, then people don't know how to deal with you, so they want to make a connection with you.
You know, he made an excellent point right there that I just caught. He goes, "She's so well spoken."
Yeah.
Because the mistake we make is assuming that if a woman, she has to have an attitude to be nasty, or she has to be like crazy to be rude, and that's not how it works. A person can be rude and still be very quiet and reserved just by what they say or what they do.
They could be smug.
They could be smug. Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have a job. They could, it's not just ratchet chicks out there that you're like, oh, that's who's nasty.
It could also be how could you dare? Who do you understand?
Yeah, she had that 90s proper female.
Yeah,
comedy,
and she was a cutie. Am I lying? She was a cutie.
Nah, not at all.
Yeah, and that's what she lived. And I'm gonna tell you something. Women will sometimes, when they're abusive like that. I used to date this chick who was like, college. She had a master's degree, and she was just
well educated,
proper. But she was an intellectual bully. So But then when she realized that I was so amazingly more smart than her, right? But I'm a dude who ran the streets too. So but look, I read and I travel and all of those things, and I know what I'm talking about, and I don't I maintain credibility, which is not talking about something unless I know what I'm talking about, and my intellect made her. And you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know absolutely who
so
you're talking about.
Made her, intimidated her because I was smarter than her.
Because she couldn't just run through you.
Yeah, because
she's used to talking over people, running through people, intellectually talking around people.
Yeah, and or you say something vulgar and she go, "Oh, what did you say?" And I go, "You know what the fuck I said." We actually broke up because she didn't like sucking dick, and I was like, "Yo, I was like, we together? What's up with the blowies?"
It's like the chick in Strictly Business.
Yeah, and I was like, she was like, no, and I just, here's one, Dom, one for you. I was like, yo, understand something. I'm not going to be in a relationship and not get my dick sucked for the rest of my. I will not be in a relationship and not get my dick sucked. And she was like, Why do you have to be so vulgar? I go, understand something. I don't give a fuck what you're saying, but I just want to be clear. And you know, it was crazy for a little while. She was blowing.
She made the effort for a little bit.
She was blowing snot bubbles and the whole shit for a while, and giving the sloppy toppy. And then all of a sudden, it started to wean off. And when it weaned off, I was like, yeah. I called up. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done. And she's like, well, what do you mean? I go, I'm done. I go, you don't like me. You don't like me, and I don't really like you.
Yeah.
And I go, and she goes, but we get along so good. I love the communication. I go, well, then why's my dick not in your mouth? I don't understand how my dick would not be. If you like me that much, why's my dick not in your mouth? Because I do things to make you happy, right? And if you're not, understand something. Women, men, whoever's living, shout out to Angie, and anybody else who's on listens to the show. If you're in a relationship where somebody is not intentionally making an effort to make you're happy, get out. Find somebody who wants you to be happy like you want them to be happy. Okay? All right, E. Yo, thanks for coming out too, man. I appreciate it, bro. Spread the word, all right? Spread the word.
Yes, sir. I will, of course.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Later.
Put that number up, baby. It's I think you have to figure out what your boundaries are and then maintain your boundaries.
Sure. You always have to. That's part of if you don't do that, and a lot of guys don't do that.
Yeah.
Because they, you talk about compromise. You always compromise to either A, put her first, or if you're in a bad relationship, just stop the problems.
Yeah.
So you just stay quiet because you don't want to ruin the 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to ruin this birthday party.
Yeah.
I will ruin this birthday party. I'll pull the plug on this. I'll pull the plug.
She should have got an Uber 2 days before she fed me her homeless leftovers. We got a call. Let's go. What's your name? Where you calling from, family?
Hi, I'm from Boston. I actually saw you a couple months ago. You and Godfrey.
Oh yeah.
You were hilarious.
Oh, thank you, man. I do stand up. I focus on helping dudes so much. People forget that. That's all we got.
You're Dante Nero, stand-up comedian.
Stand-up comedian.
Not just Dante Nero, flat Earth destroyer.
What's your name, family? One more time. Jason, what's going on? How can I help you, brother?
All right. So I don't have an issue with initially meeting girls. It's just keeping them is hard for me. Maybe it lasts a couple months and then I don't know what happens.
Fizzles out.
It just doesn't work out. Yeah, it fizzles out. So my question is how do I retain them,
Okay, good.
Well, let me ask you this. Are you maintaining the same effort when you first went out with them throughout those couple months, or do you start to wean off? Because sometimes guys forget that you got to keep dating her all the time. You got to be your best self all the time. And sometimes guys will up front make a big effort, and once they get comfortable, they don't maintain the same effort of attraction, of energy.
Here's the other thing. Understand it what I try to put it as is that the same thing that gets the girl is the same thing that keeps the girl, right? Which is very different for women, right? The thing that gets the guy is not the same thing that keeps the guy. You as a guy, like I say, men hunt, women trap, right? Women set the trap. They put the eyelashes on. They put the makeup on, the high heels. They spank it up. They put the little split, and they sit at a bar and they trap. They bait the trap, and then you walk. Hey, what are you doing here? Can I buy you a drink?
They wait for the prey to come to them.
The prey comes to them. Whereas we hunt, we go out hunting.
We gotta chase. We gotta find.
And so understand this that. When a woman can get a guy just by looking pretty and being attractive enough and looking like prey, but in order for her to keep the guy, right? This is for any of the women, that's when they got to put the work in. Show that they're special. Show that that's how you keep the guy. But what happens, a lot of times guys don't have options, and because they don't have options, what they'll do is they'll take whatever. They're like, oh, I got one.
Now I can relax.
Now I can relax.
Yeah.
So you gotta. So is that the case that you don't keep the energy up? Is it?
I think so because after I smash, I'm just like
You don't give a
kind of
shit.
just like stop putting in effort. You know what I mean? Like I take a little while longer to text them back, or I
But
might not take them out
before you
anymore.
smash, you on it, right? Then she texts you, then the bubbles are coming, the three dots, the bubbles are going, right? Well,
yeah.
so let me say something. Part of the credibility, this goes back to credibility. Because if you present yourself as something, then that's what she's gonna expect from you, right? So understand something. If there isn't, you know what I mean by the word incongruent? Doesn't matter. I'll explain it. Incongruent is when you have presented yourself to be one way, but you're not really. It's deceitful.
It's a facade,
right? So you go, and you might actually just have changed your mind because after you smash, you lose interest, right? So you're willing to do everything to get her and nothing to keep her. So what happens though is that you have presented yourself as somebody who is attentive and who's present and who texts right back and this, and then after you hit, right, then you don't have that same energy. What I would say to you is stop lying about who you are. I know you think by doing all of those things you're gonna get laid, but you probably will because you're the best version of yourself. But a woman will respect you being the person who you are more than you trying to create a facade of somebody. Because understand something, if incongruent means there's an inconsistency. So you are the way you are when you first meet them, and then you change into somebody else who doesn't give a fuck. You're better. Incongruency went like I was talking about the empathy of women and how empathy, women have the ability to read the room. They have a great intuitive ability because of the fact that things can get dangerous for them. So what I'm saying in essence is if you show some level of incongruency, incongruence means they read it as deceptive.
So what do you think he's doing? There's
a deceptiveness, and deceptiveness reads to a woman as dangerous. So if you have presented yourself as this guy who's attentive and all of a sudden you start pull back, then you're a liar. Does that make sense to you? And if you're a liar, then how can she trust you? Because what else are you hiding? Go ahead.
So if I'm like straight, I feel like if I'm straight up and just like brutally honest, like I'll sleep with less women.
Is that what your experience is, or is that your assumption?
I haven't tried that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just guessing.
Exactly. Because your assumption is that every woman wants a relationship. Your assumption that every woman that you sleep with wants you, and they don't. Some of them just want to smash and dash too. So the assumption that you think that you have to be this boyfriend guy in order to get laid is just not the truth.
And it's also deceptive because you're presenting
because that's not who you are.
Boyfriend life, and then once you're done fucking, you go, well, I tricked you. It was just a one night stay.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, from my personal experience, when I had that run, and I had 8 at one time, nice. I just said nice to myself. Stupid. Nice. When I had that run, the thing I learned is those. I don't know why I've said that. Anyway, when I had that run, the thing I learned, because most of those were casual, and I was very upfront about it. Now, when you present that, there will be women who go, no, that's not for me. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. And then you lose that.
But 90% of them go, first of all, 90% of them want to, because you're presenting yourself as you are, what you're in essence saying is, I am valuable, even though I'm not giving you what you want, and they want to go, and they absolutely want to see what's behind it. Now, some of them might be in it because they want to change you, and it has a shelf life. But I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
my point was the ones that do stay, that are down for that. You have a good sexual relationship, and it's just sexual. So it's whatever you want it to be. If you present that up front and put your desire first, you will eventually get that. It's just not everyone will take that offer. Some women will be like, no, I want to be with.
And let's be honest, every guy that wants a relationship, women don't want a relationship. Ask Dom. Dom was trying to get his girl a relationship, and she still don't want it.
Right.
So what's the difference? The difference is that you've been deceitful, you've been dishonest, you've been incongruent, and then what happens is you lose your self-esteem because you knew you were lying in the first place. Mm. And now she knows.
Jason, can I ask, because you called up, the verbiage of that question is interesting because you go, after a while they disappear, but then you also said that you lose interest right after sex. So what is it, if you lose interest, what are you trying to hold on to? Or why are you upset?
Like the option.
I'd
like the option of just, seeing where things go, but not committing right away.
Why can't you just say that? Why can't you say? I mean, is that honestly what it is, or are you just a piece of shit that wants to smash and dash? And even if you are a piece of shit that just wants to smash and dash, trust me, that won't stop them. If they like you, that won't stop them from fucking you.
I mean, you could just put that in the Tinder bio. I'm a piece of shit who likes to smash and dash, and then
I
check.
swear that's not the case.
Okay,
fair enough.
So, but then what you're making assumptions that every girl that you sleep with wants you, and that's kind of arrogant, right? I mean, do you actually think that every girl you sleep with wants to marry you, wants to have a relationship and have babies with you?
No, but I think most girls
you're making an assumption that you don't know. And how many most girls did you know? Do you know? You know the girls that you dealt with. You know that you being dishonest is not working, right? Or at least not working to the degree that you want it to work, right?
Yeah.
So do something
What you're
different.
offering, Jason, is a product that you can't deliver on, right?
You don't believe in.
You don't believe in it, and you can't deliver on it, and then they get upset and disappointed because you're offering them a long-term deal or the potential for a long-term deal. And then when you have no intention of delivering on it, on that boyfriend life,
you're giving boyfriend energy.
Yeah.
And you really want to say, yo, I mean, I wouldn't mind having a girlfriend that's cool, but you're gonna have to show me that you cool. And what you're basically saying, if you have a vagina, we'll travel. I have a vagina, we'll travel. As long as you got a vagina, I will give you boyfriend energy. But if you're not want to be, understand something. I had a friend of mine. He kept, came into some money, kept buying his son cars. Bought him a Corvette. He wrapped it around a fucking tree. Bought him a Maxima. He put it in a ditch. You know why? Because he kept buying him stuff. He didn't have to earn it, right? I remember my first car. My first car was a Chevy Chevette. It was puke green with beige vinyl interior. But I saved my money up, and that was my first car. And I shined that car till the rust came off it. I shined the rust off it. But it meant something to me because I had to make sacrifice to do it. What you're doing is you're giving somebody the boyfriend energy when they haven't even earned it. Wouldn't it be better if you said, listen, I mean, how are you ever going to find this girl that you really want to have a relationship with if you're never really being who you are? You understand? You still there?
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Because what don't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse. So if you ain't shit, she gonna find out that you ain't shit.
Jason, let me tell you from personal experience, right? Because you have a different problem than the nice guy problem. It's on the other end. But the thing that,
in other words, you a dickhead, Jason.
Wait, is that Baltimore slang or whatever?
Yeah, he's a dickhead.
But I will say that I relate to this in the sense that when you ask for what you want and you get it and you're honest and you don't have to lie, that's the greatest, most relaxing feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So when I was dating multiple women and I was just like, hey, I want to keep things casual, and they said yes, and I didn't have to worry about I wasn't freaking out about, I gotta make sure I gotta call and to do this and do that because I have to maintain this boyfriend energy. It's just free, easy, relaxing, and it's great. It's great when you can just do what you want to do and be who you want. So it's freeing.
Be who you are is even more important. You're living a lie And this is what I'm talking about: the deceitfulness, the lack of credibility, the lack of authenticity. You're giving people what you want, what you think they want, and I'm telling you, there's plenty of women who don't want that. Because trust me, if you had a girl, and if you had a girl and they really wanted you, what's happening is they're seeing you are attracting women or different kinds of women, and then when you show them, even if they would put up with you, being distant. You've lied to them. You understand? There's incongruence, and because there's incongruence, they don't trust you.
Even if she would have been into that, the fact that you didn't present that and you presented something else, it makes it like that you're untrustworthy, because they're like, oh, if you just told me, I would have been into this, but the dude lied to me, so what else is he going to lie about? Or he misled me.
And if you said that, you said, look, I'm not really looking for a relationship, but if I connect with somebody and we really a vibe like that, I absolutely would have a relationship, which is not untrue.
Well, that's how I ended up with my chick.
Yeah.
She was, it wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to be on the roster, and then little by little, I whittled away the roster because she was great. And I didn't pick up anyone else.
Couldn't find nobody better. The other chicks who you were dealing with were aggravating.
So that's what I'm trying to do, like, essentially.
Yeah, but you're doing it under false
pretenses. Because I was honest with everybody up front. Like, even with my girl, she knew that I was living this lifestyle because I was upfront about it.
Yeah.
And then being upfront about it, there's no deceitfulness there. She's like, oh, okay, if that's what you're going to do. And then eventually it was like, I want something more. And it happened after I felt like, hey.
And I'm full disclosure, Harry was into the BSDM, choking.
BDSM,
and choking bitches and all kind of tying bitches up and some dominatrix shit and all kind. And he was honest about it. And there were chicks who were like, yo, I'm down, right?
Sure.
There were chicks who were down with it, and some that weren't.
Some weren't into it.
And whatever, but the ones who were, and the ones who
great. The ones who were, it was great.
But also the fact that understand something, when you're lying, like I always say this, if you get a guy and he's 5'4" and he's lying and he's on the dating app, he says he's 5'6".
Yeah.
What he's in essence is saying is, I'm not 5'4" is not good enough. I'm not good enough. If I was only 2 inches taller, that would be enough. And that's just not true. I mean, there was definitely some women who go, I won't date a guy who's 5'4", he's too short. But what she's saying, I won't date a guy who's not extraordinary enough to overcome the fact that he's 5'4". So you're lying because you don't think that what you have to offer is good enough. So you're creating a facade, which understand. Let's be clear. You are in the subtext. You are communicating that you don't think you're good enough. And and why wouldn't she believe you? Nobody knows your product better than you. So if you're going off and coming off as this way and you're not really that way, what you're in essence is saying, I'm a piece of shit and you're not going to like me if I be myself. And then when you do get tired and you be yourself, then they go, yeah, I'm good. I'm good on this. And it's not because they wouldn't put up with it, because they probably would. They probably would be fine with it.
You presented it to them that way.
But you presented them. This is like, I don't know. Have you ever watched Kevin Samuels?
No.
Hello? No? So,
No.
So in the whole Red Pill world, there's all this thing. Everybody talks about high value man. It's a man who makes over $100,000 and he's this and you could be a stay home. Once you set that framing up, that's what everybody wants. They don't want the guy who's a plumber. They don't want to, because you said, well, this is the best thing. So what you're doing is you're setting the standard, and then you're not willing to keep up the standard that you're setting. When a lot of times relationships just don't happen that way. I always say that women don't know what they want, their pussy does. It is a visceral feeling. A woman, attraction happens in below the belt. It doesn't happen. It happens in their head. It doesn't happen on a list. I need a guy who has a Porsche, who has $100,000. It just doesn't happen that way. It happens in real time, where people connect and they don't connect, and they turn each other off or they turn each other on based on real interaction, real social interaction. Okay? So you got to be honest.
Got it.
You got to be honest.
Jason doesn't seem like he has a problem meeting with
Yeah,
him.
I should.
Yeah, because he's being a fucking dirtbag.
Well, I mean, just
he's giving the whole farm away, in the initial.
The fact that he has a lot of women that he's meeting up with. We have a lot of guys who have trouble meeting women.
Yeah,
he doesn't have that problem.
Right.
Which means he has options and he can ask for what he wants. He's probably not even going to lose the way he thinks he's going to lose.
He's probably not going to lose at all.
Right.
He'll probably do better.
He'll probably do better.
Yeah.
So.
You'll probably do better. In fact, I know you'll do better.
Yeah.
Because understand that the standard that women talk, if you say, do you want a guy that makes $200,000? They'll be like, yeah. And then you be like, what about a guy who makes $100,000? You'll be like, no, I don't want that. I want the two. You know what I mean? Everybody wants the first prize. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It makes sense, yeah.
All right.
I'm going to start doing.
Just shoot for what you want. Shoot for what you want.
Because they're going to find out who you are anyway and what your intentions are. They're going to find out. You can't, whatever doesn't come out in the wash comes out in the rinse.
So do I just say that immediately?
Yes.
Or I just kind of like use it?
Let me ask you this. What is the honest truth? The honest truth is that you want a relationship, but you're not in love with having a relationship. You want to have a real connection with somebody. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, I just want to like chill for like a little while, then like feel you out and kind of,
Why can't you say that?
What type of person?
Yeah, just say, listen, I kind of want to keep things casual. I'm open to the possibility of something more serious later on, but I just really want to keep things casual.
I had a friend of mine. Shout out to my boy Deron Harris. Always a good-looking guy. Girls used to hit on him all the time. One time, Mariah Carey came to his bar, and her people was like, basically, get him to come to my room. And he was like, they went and said, Mariah, Miss Carey wants to see you. And he was like, oh, yeah, I would love to. Here's a number, call the number and after you get over. And he was like, I got to work late, but I could come tomorrow. When he called the number the day after that, there was no answer. Like she wanted to get knocked down. Right. Then I don't really care about this goofy bartender. I want to get knocked down now. Now, had he have gone, knocked it down, and then he was worth more than she thought, he might have been able to extend the
He might have been Nick Cannon. He might have been the future Nick Cannon.
Could have been. But he was like, I'll call you tomorrow, right? And she was like, I don't know you and I don't like you.
I don't want anything long term. This is already a very quick decision.
And any woman that's saying, oh, do you want to be married? Do you want children? I don't know. I don't know. I might with somebody else, maybe not with you, which is honest. And any woman that feels as though she's valued at that level that she could just make those demands, the guy who says, yeah, I'm good, that's the guy she chases. The guy that goes, yeah, I'm not, I'm good,
Because that guy's not playing games.
How long have you been listening to the content, my content?
Off and on for like since last year.
All right, so you know that I talk about authenticity, telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
And I talk about credibility, right?
Yeah.
So you are practicing nothing that I teach.
Yeah.
You doing your own freestyle. So, and that's fine.
The best part, Jason, is you can start right now. Like, you don't have to. You can start now doing what you want, asking for what you want. You know?
You'd be surprised, Jason, okay? I promise you'll be surprised. All right?
All
right, bro.
Thank you.
You got it, bro. Easy. Put that number up. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's almost 513-202 Nero. Cash App is up, y'all. Stop playing. Send me some money.
It always goes back to guys not wanting to lose. Yeah. That's what it always goes back to. Nice guys or, dirtbags, whatever you want to call it. It's always the same situation. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose.
And you haven't even decided whether or not the person is worth your time.
Well, because we're sort of engineered societally that we chase women, and it's always us interviewing for the job with the women, and we never take into account because it's supply and demand.
And I get that, but how often? Look, Like I have friends who smash all the time,
Right.
and even Jason sounds like a guy who gets options.
Just has no
if
problem.
I ask him how many of those women if I ask him his whole roster, how many of the women that he actually dealt with that he really liked, he probably couldn't count them on one hand. Because it's just
it's just the numbers.
She's got a vagina.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Well, sometimes also guys, I find also when guys, and I fell into this a little bit, when you start hooking up and you have the ability to hook up, it becomes an ego thing. Like you're like, oh, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
I can't. It just becomes a thing. It makes you feel better. Oh, if I get more numbers, if my numbers go up,
yeah,
it becomes something that you're doing to like, man, I'm doing something great, and I never had this opportunity.
And you feel obligated to do it.
Yeah.
And then I remember because I tell the story all the time is how Harry was on a road, called me up to keep him awake because he was falling asleep going to see some chick in Connecticut driving, and I was like, you do understand you don't have to do this. You can cut it down to 2 or 3 or 1 or whatever, and the chick that he was going to see wasn't even one that he particularly.
She wasn't my favorite.
No,
she wasn't my favorite, but I felt like I'd worked so hard to do this, and also like it's almost like when you're starving. I spent so many years going without,
right?
That people are starving in China. People are not getting pussy in China,
and
you know, like
and a lot of
how
lot
dare
of times,
you turn this down? And
a lot of
throw it
times,
away.
guys will go. You know, they'll look at Harry and as a regular dude or weight wise or whatever, and he was like, well, this because I mean when I met him he was married to a cunt, cunt. All right, we got a call. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Texas.
What's going on, man? What's your name?
John.
What's going on, John? How are you, man? How can I help you?
Hey, John. Hey, Dante, and to your partner,
Harry.
Hey, Harry. Hey, Harry. Nice to see you.
Nice, John. What's going on, bud?
Hey, so I have a question. So I've been seeing this girl. We've already hit third base and all that. Even already intimate.
What's third base? Because third base is anal for me, so I don't
know. no, just the vanilla stuff.
What finger pop?
I believe finger blasting is third.
Finger blasting is third. Is that is that what's third base?
No, just sex.
Oh, sex is third base.
No, sex is home.
Yeah.
Okay.
First base is kissing. Second base is feeling up the breast, right?
Yeah.
Third base is fingers.
Right.
And then home plate is fourth is sex. Home
I
plate.
I thought home Billy was snowballing.
No.
Where
that's
I
different.
cream pie a chick and another chick suck. No, that's not.
No.
All right.
No, that was what you call fifth grade.
I think I'm playing a different game then.
All right, fair enough.
So what did you achieve? And then what's your question? Because we stopped him. So how far?
You know how many people are gonna look up snowballing?
Yeah.
Man, I need to try some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But go ahead, John.
So you
yeah. So we've already been intimate, whatnot.
Sure.
And then last time we met, I'm trying to understand probably some underlying messages that she's trying to tell me, or just an underlying. I'm trying to see if there was an underlying question that she wanted me to, or that she wanted an answer to. So we met, and then she's all like, "Would you ever?" She asked me, "Would you ever get into a relationship with someone who had everything you wanted?" And then I kind of I interpreted it as maybe she was assuming something between us. And so then I started playing around. Oh, you mean someone who has blonde hair, someone who has a dog named Scrappy,
and she has blonde hair, and right. And what did she say?
Flirtatious.
Right. And I was basically describing her.
Right. And what did she say?
And then she was like, yeah, someone like me.
Right.
And then but then I was honest with her. I think I was honest with her. I was like, well, right now I just want to, and I'm not bullshitting. I'm really trying to understand myself. I'm not like, I'm really in a personal journey where I want to get to know myself, get to know my weaknesses, get to know my strengths.
What exactly did you tell her?
Is that what you told her? Is that what you told her?
I said, right now if I had the opportunity, if someone like you, like someone as great as you was offering something like that, I would not take it, just out of respect for the relationship, because I know that I'm not ready in terms of knowing myself fully.
Okay, the first thing I want you to do is stop talking in third person. If both of y'all know what you're talking about, understand a woman is always going to respect your directness, right? She said, would you ever be with somebody who you really had all the things you wanted, and you just go, you mean like you? You want to know if we could have a relationship. That's what you want to know. And she'll go, yeah, I guess, because she doesn't want to say it, because women, understand something, women are not accustomed to rejection.
There was an underlying question, right? Am I tripping or not?
No, of course it was an underlying. Yeah. She wants to know if you want to be in a relationship with her. And what you could have said was, I'm kind of on a journey. I'm just not ready right now. I really like hanging out with you, and I'm
open to the possibility.
I mean, are you open to the possibility, or you're not?
I just don't want to mess it up with her. She's really cool.
Wait, that's two separate things, though.
Yeah. This is the thing. When I ask the question, I need you to answer the question I'm asking. Are you open to having a relationship with somebody who's willing to satisfy your needs and make you happy? Or are you in the place where you're in this journey and you want to still smash other chicks, you want to date other people?
Well, I'm in a journey where I just want to, I'm in a journey of self-discovery. So no.
Okay.
I would.
So you're saying you wouldn't. So what if you had somebody who gave you space to allow your self-discovery, but wanted to be with you or wanted to be exclusive with you or whatever? What would you say about that?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But you see, my fear is, let's say that I start the relationship, but then like 2 years later, this person doesn't like who I've become.
That could happen if she did. What, yeah. You could change anyway, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, you're worrying about something 2 years later. You like, look, I mean, people fall in love. They fall out of love all the time. People deal with each other. They don't deal with each other. People break up. And a lot of times they don't break up because it's a tragic. Sometimes people grow. There's no guarantee that people who fall in love are going to stay in love. That's just honest, right?
Yeah.
And you experience people as you want. And you if you're honest about what you want, right? Like how awesome is if you say, I want this is the type of relationship I want, and she goes, oh, I could do that, and she does that, then you don't have anything to worry about. You're putting all this thought and energy in something that is not even necessary to put in, right?
I see.
Now, if she says, no, I want somebody to be my man, and I want to this, and I want to, you go, well, then you just got to be honest and say, that's not what I'm really interested in. Or at least I'm not on that page
yet. Right now. Yeah.
And you could also say, I don't know if I will be. I used to tell this story all the time. I remember I was dating this girl, and and she did and we was 11 months. We did 7 movies, 7 movies and dinner, right? The sex was crazy. It was like at least 7 orgasms per. She had like between 5 and 7 orgasms, but it was 7 movies in 10 months. And then she went on my Instagram and she checked out on the other women that I was talking. She did research and she contacted the women that I had pictures with, and she called me up. How could you do this to me? And I was like, yo, what are you doing? I go, it's 7 dates in 10 months. To me, that's not a relationship. I said, if somebody had this was when all the Marvel movies was out. I was like, 7
first run movies, opening weekend,
5-star restaurant, and a minimum of 5 orgasms per sesh.
5 orgasms guaranteed.
That's 35 orgasms, a Marvel movie, and a gourmet. Who wouldn't sign up for that? And she got mad at me. I like you, and then I go, I get that, but I just was honest, and I was like, I'm just not at the same. I'm not at the same place.
Yeah.
We're not on the same page. I like you. I'm not saying that I couldn't do that because I did like her. I enjoyed her company. Maybe we could, spend more time together or whatever, which would have been fine. But that's not. She got mad and then she jumped out the window and stalked me and chased Well, she didn't even chase everybody away because I had other chicks who was like, "Who is this girl telling me? Could you tell these bitches to stop calling me or whatever?" And I had to check. But the point is, you get to choose what you want, just like she gets to choose what she wants. And if it doesn't line up, then it just doesn't line up.
And if it doesn't, it's not meant to be.
And it's not meant to be because it's not. You can't force it anyway. You understand?
Right.
I think you need to just figure out what you want to define the relationship in the first place. And if you define the relationship and it fits, then it's fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And maybe some of it can compromise, but you got to have a conversation, and you shouldn't be talking about this in third person.
Now, John, how long ago did this happen?
Last week.
Last week, okay. And you've been in communication since?
Oh yeah. We may even see each other in the next couple of weeks again.
Okay.
And how many times did you see her?
We've already seen each other like 6 times.
And how many times have you slept with her?
6 times.
Okay, nice. Well done.
Yeah.
So here's
what was
my
his
thing
answer
too.
to her again? By the way, what was his answer to her when she asked all that again?
I'm trying to figure myself out. I'm growing. I'm trying to figure myself, and I just want to have respect for the relationship. And
That's what he said.
And not change. Yeah.
Okay, out of respect for the relationship.
Right. And I don't want to be immature in the relationship. Well, I consider myself a mature person. I just I really like her, and I don't want to be in a relationship where I know I can, mess it up with her,
And understand, this is a prime example of somebody who rejected somebody and they didn't go nowhere, just because he was honest, which is exactly what we're talking about, is being honest about it. I think you need to be a little more detailed about what you want, and maybe she can meet you where you are.
Yeah, I think.
And
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
you go.
I think you're being slightly vague, but you're on the right track. But I think what you're doing is you're pampering, or you're softening the blow of what you're trying to say, which can be it's going to lead to a little confusion.
It's a lie. You understand
yeah.
something? It's a lie. So
I don't know if you to it as a relationship with her.
Yeah.
Even though you're like, I don't want to be in a relationship out of respect for the relationship.
Yeah.
That's going to create a problem because you're mixing the.
Here's my thing.
There.
I don't know if you heard. Were you listening to the show from the beginning, or did you jump on later?
Later.
Okay, so what I said was there's 3 types of lies. One is where you're deceitful, you're trying to steal somebody's girl, you're trying to steal somebody's money, just malicious lying. Then the other lie is where you lie because you don't want to confront a situation where it might be a problem, that you have a confrontational situation where you may not be on the same page. And the last lie is when you lie not to hurt somebody's feeling. Understand something. I'm going to say this again. I said this earlier. If you are 90% trustworthy, that is the definition of a liar, right? And that means that if you're honestly not interested in somebody, you got to tell them. If you're I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. What I'm saying is, whatever the truth is, you have to tell the truth even if it hurts her feelings. You have to tell the truth even though it might be a confrontation. It might be, you guys might be on the same page. And the honesty, and I mean, because I could tell you not being malicious because you actually give a fuck how this represents. What your representation is, which is exactly what we're talking about. That's what the authenticity and the credibility is. The point is, those things are just as important as the empathy. So if you know something and you're not being totally honest about it, and you're not having an open and honest conversation, like, what do you want? What are you looking for? Ask her what she's looking for.
Like Dante, like, I'll tell you, like, I would get in a relationship with her, but at the same time, I'm scared.
Scared of what?
scared of probably not living up to her expectations. Scared of
the only way you're gonna know that is by getting into it. And I'm not telling you should go into it. I'm just saying that shouldn't be.
That shouldn't be the reason you don't go into it.
And it's not about living up to her expectation. What if she doesn't live up to your expectations? Is that possible?
Yeah.
So you're worrying about all these hypotheticals. You got all these hypotheticals, which is exactly the point why you're saying you're trying to get your life together. You're trying to get yourself together because you're indecisive about you want. Figure out what you want.
There's two messages here. One, he wants to. He would be in a relationship, but he's scared because he doesn't feel like he's enough for the relationship. But then on the other hand, you're saying, I want to go on a journey. I want to continue my journey. So those are kind of conflicting.
What I'm saying, you have to be okay with who you are, and just because what you are doesn't fit within the mindset of who she is, doesn't make that doesn't make you a bad person. People disappoint each other all the time.
John, are you seeing other women, or is it just exclusive between the two of you?
Oh no, we're not exclusive.
Okay.
I see other people.
Okay.
Does she know that?
Hold
on. Okay.
No. I think she does.
No. You can't go. I think. Stop. You can't go. I think she does.
Well, let me clarify this. Because I told her, I was like, well, this, because I told her, I was like, hey, this other chick, she wants to get with me, and she was like, oh wow, look, Mr. Player dude. And so she knows that.
No. It has to be said.
Like she knows I'm active somewhere else.
No, she doesn't know that. And what she'll do is, if she likes you enough, she'll lie to you, right? And then because you weren't clear, then she'll blame you for not being honest in the first place. So if you're saying I'm still available, we're not exclusive, I'm still doing my own thing, then you need to say that. And if she wants to bounce because of that, then she got to bounce.
Because it will come back to bite you.
Oh, she's going to blame you.
Yeah.
And if you...
Because she'll use the word... You said relationship. You said the word relationship.
Doug, I'll be honest. I was with my wife, and she didn't, when she was having my son, she didn't want to have sex. And then she was like, I was like, yo, what's up? Like, I know you're not feeling great. And she was like, oh, I thought you would take care of that. Right? Am I lying?
Oh, I remember that.
She said, I thought you would take care of that. And I did. I made some phone calls.
That was the green light. You took care of it. Boy, did you take care of it.
I took care of it. And then it was like, how could you do this to me?
I was like, Dante, did you take care of that?
I was like, I definitely did.
Oh, okay.
You betcha. I said, you betcha. And then tried to throw it in my face like, oh, how could you do this to me?
As if that conversation never happened.
We had the conversation. So even when you have the conversation, there's dishonesty. You still get blamed. So if you're not clear about what it is, you won't.
And let me tell you what else might happen, John, if you're not clear about it. When she's seeing somebody, if you're both seeing other people, when she's seeing somebody else who she likes, she'll be cool with it. And she'll be, hey, we're in an open relationship. Yeah. But then when she's not with somebody else and then she just wants you, then she'll be like, you never really defined that we were in an open relationship. You used the word relationship.
Let me explain something. I've never heard a woman be referred to as a woman of her word. We allow the fickleness of women to change their mind because it's just what we do. But the bottom line is...
No one calls them out on it.
Yeah, because nobody calls out...
We're afraid of the fights, or we're trying to hook up with them, one way or the other.
Nobody's holding them accountable like that. So if you have to be explicit, say, let's be clear. I really like you. I'm seeing other people. And I really like spending time with you, but I'm seeing other people. I'm just not ready to settle down. I'm just not on that page right now. I really like, maybe that could happen in the future, but and if you want to end this, I totally get it. I always put the cap on. It's like, look, bitch, I'll break up with you yesterday. We can break up with you yesterday. Which allows them to understand that they can't bully you into a relationship, because women will bully you into a relationship. If they like you, they don't give a fuck that you don't want to be in a relationship. They're going to force you into a relationship because they don't. But a woman who will do that doesn't give a fuck about your happiness. You don't want to be with somebody who only cares about her happiness. You would rather have a girl say, listen, I really like you. I can't hang out with you anymore because I really like you and I want you to myself. And I got to break it off because it's just too painful for me to stick around and you and you don't want me. That's much better than somebody going, bullying you into a relationship.
And right. And so the next time we see each other, should I bring it up or should I just not?
You should. I mean, you should say, what you were talking about. Here's where I'm at on that. And I understand that you just be clear. If you want to break it off and you don't want to see each other, I totally understand. But I felt I would be remiss by not being honest with you.
Should you even call her before that? Before they get together?
Yeah, you could call her tonight and do it. See,
listen, I've been really thinking about what you're saying because that's honest. You're like, I've been mulling over what you've been saying, and I just
wondered. I feel like I owed you. I like you enough, and I care about you, and I respect you. That I felt like I should be honest, and I want to be clear that I'm dating other people. I'm not really looking for a relationship right now. I really like you, and be.
I'd like to continue.
Just be honest. Yeah. I don't say I like to. I don't like to be. I like you. And I totally get if this is unacceptable to you, and you don't want to see each other anymore. But I felt like I needed to maintain my honesty and my credibility, my authenticity and my credibility up front because I respect you. See, this is a situation where it always leaves the door open for you to go back if you don't want to because you're an honest dude. As opposed to you being deceitful, right? As opposed to you being deceitful and not really telling the truth, and then she can say, "Oh, you're a piece of shit because you lied to me,"
Now, let's say, how could I later tell her that I do want to be in a relationship? After...
You just tell her, "I really love you. I love being around you. I want us to make a go of it." That's it, and then you tell her. Now, the fact that you put her off.
I thought you taught that you should let the girl start.
Well,
the relationship.
Yeah, but she's already said she wants to be in a relationship.
Okay.
Now, I mean, there's a good chance that if she sticks around, she's gonna constantly be hinting about being in a relationship anyway. She's gonna constantly.
It's gonna come up.
And she has dropped hints, like for instance,
she hasn't dropped a hint. She told you. She told you she wanted to be in a relationship.
She did. She did wrap it around in a hypothetical. She did kind of.
Harry's goofy girl was like, "I was throwing the pussy at you," and all she did was DM and go hi.
She said hello, and then she was like I said hello like 4 different times.
I was throwing it at you, and he's like, "You said hello." They're not comfortable with the rejection, so they don't put themselves out there like that. And when you're ready to be in a relationship, I mean, what I'm saying is if you're already she's expressed that she wants this relationship, and trust me, if she does stick around and y'all are still messing around, she will remind you all the time.
Yeah.
Every day
like the other night when we after we stopped making out, we were making out, and then she was like,
"You was getting some stink on your hang down." Yeah. All right.
No. She was like, "Do you feel chemistry when we kiss?"
Yeah, she's.
I guess.
How old are you?
I guess.
How old are you, John?
Me?
Yeah.
31.
Yeah. How old is she?
26.
Yeah, she's goofy. She's young. She likes you. It ain't gonna go nowhere.
Yeah. She's just saying it in different ways without having to say "I like you" because she doesn't want to take accountability. But she keeps asking those questions.
Yeah.
It's because.
But you got to be honest with her about what it is, and then if it changes, you just change it.
Being honest doesn't mean you're cruel, by the way.
No, it doesn't mean be cruel. Just be honest. You tell her, "I respect you and I care about you, and I don't want to. I'm not going to lie to you." Because understand this, you're not lying to her, because if you ever want a relationship, right, then you can always you being honest is so that you can cross that line if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dante, can I tell you something real quick?
Sure.
You're my favorite bald person on this planet.
Wow.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
That's a lot of competition,
too,
Dante.
Dudes. A lot of dudes go bald these days.
Yeah.
Thank you. More than Stone Cold? I'll take it. Thank you, John.
Man, dude, Stone Cold not even active right now, man. You over here getting your views every day.
Thank you, bro.
Nice.
I appreciate you, man.
Come on, bro.
You know what? Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Next Tuesday.
Go ahead.
No, what were you going to ask me?
Oh, I was just going to thank your friend, too.
Harry.
I appreciate his input, too. Thanks, Harry.
Man.
Yeah, listen, John, call back. Call back on the live. We'll be live on the live next Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll get an update.
And then we'll get an update, please. Okay?
All right, we'll probably, because she's traveling overseas. We'll probably not see each other like in 2 weeks. She's gonna be back in 2 weeks.
Whatever, we'll be doing this. We ain't gonna stop doing this, so we'll be around. Okay.
Right. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
All right, John.
Later, John. Easy. 10:04. We gotta shut this down. Harry, thanks for coming out, man. It's good having you out.
This is fun.
Plug your shit, bro.
All my social media at Harry Turjanian. That's where you can follow me. That's where I do stand-up comedy, the professional wrestling commentary, play-by-play, all that good stuff there. And also, if you haven't subscribed already to our channel, Man School 202, subscribe. We do new episodes every Friday. And the Patreon, patreon.com/manschool202 is where we're at, helping people. It helps us keep the show, the lights on, so...
Yeah. Also, don't forget, if y'all need a consultation, DanteNero.com. Click on consult. You can get me. I am seconds from the merch store being open, so that's coming up too. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, What Would Dante Do? The Sexual Revolutions being podcasted. Look for us. I'll be live on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Also, if you want consultations from me, you can email me at advicefromharry@gmail.com. Some guys like coming to me. It's all good.
Peace. We out of here, bro. Love y'all.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.